Hello lovelies, welcome to Narc Free Formula. My name's Freedom. Thank you for joining me today. Please excuse the chaos that is my life behind me. I've had little girls having sleepovers. So, today's episode is about Shallon Lester. Shallon Lester, pedophile or psychopath? Or no? I've written some notes, so I'm going to go through it. First of all, for those of you who don't even know who I'm talking about, the internet has been on fire for the last few days over a woman called Shallon Lester, who is she's a YouTuber. She's a former kind of gossip magazine editor. So she's the former editor of Star, or assistant editor, associate editor of Star, which is like a tabloid kind of celebrity gossip rag in the US. She has been on YouTube for about 8 years. She has quite a following and she's quite outspoken. To be perfectly honest, I didn't even know who she was until this whole scandal kind of broke out. So now that it has, and as I said, she's being accused of being a pedophile and a psychopath, I think, there's a few things that need to be addressed with this whole topic. So, first of all, is Shallon, Shallon, that's not her name, Shallon. She calls her followers showerliners, because apparently when they used to be called Shalloners, so when you type in Shalloner, apparently what's that thing when it changes the words? So instead of Shalloners, it's showerliners. So that's what she calls her followers. So Shallon Lester, is she a pedophile or a psychopath? Well, first of all, I would probably just say straight off the bat that, the people that are accusing her of these things are not psychiatrists. She is not their patient. So it's not really for anyone to actually try and diagnose someone. You can have an opinion about something and that's fine. But when you start diagnosing people and when you start labeling people, especially with the label of pedophile, I mean, that's, you kind of need to be careful about what you're perpetrating and what you're kind of putting out there. This stuff, I mean, I hate to say it, but, she's lived this kind of life of gossip and yeah, it's going to bite her in the butt. There's no doubt about it. And I think it has with this one. So we've gone through who is Shallon. The people that are coming after her. So basically she's been attacked by kind of one channel originally. It was D'Angelo Wallace, and then other channels started to kind of get on board, including some of the channels that cover narcissism and psychopaths. So the thing is that if you don't know about it, so just quickly, if you don't know about it at all, so essentially someone scrolled through some old tweets of hers and brought up a tweet that was about a sex dream. So the quote was, "Sex dream about Justin Bieber, don't mind if I do." Now, that was 10 plus years ago. Allegedly at the time, he was famous, but he was 16 and she was allegedly 25. Now, obviously, that's a little bit iffy, like, not really appropriate. However, in saying that, we don't know if she knew how old he was. Obviously, pop stars, their kind of sexuality is promoted. Their image is sexualized. I mean, there's a lot of that stuff going on. So it would be quite easy to make a comment about someone and realize that, no, they're not over the age of consent. The other thing that I'm finding, sorry, back up. I'm getting ahead of myself now. So there was the issue around Justin Bieber, who she has a bit of a crush on, I must say. So there's issues about that. And then people have kind of gone through all of her footage, all of her tweets. And the thing is, the reality is that if you are looking for something to hate on someone about, you will find it. It is impossible not to. Because, we do this thing where we We search for things that prove that we are correct, because humans love to be right. We love to be right about everything. So, the people that are now attacking this woman, they want to be right. So they're finding the one line here and the footage there, and they're combining it to make themselves right. They're taking things out of context, and putting their own narrative and own spin on them. Neither of that is healthy. So one of the things that I saw, it was just quite ridiculous, and I've got to say, is that people just kind of jumped on board with this because she is a hot topic at the moment. She's trending, and so people who are trying to kind of get some eyeballs on their channel essentially are jumping on this bandwagon and talking about her. But the thing is that no one's actually questioning, or there's only one person that I saw that actually kind of questioned the narrative around this. Most people are just jumping into the fray, boots on, ready to, to rock and roll, ready to get into a fight. I mean, it's one woman against the entire internet. And the irony of it is that they're all saying that she's a bully and that she's this and she's that. I mean, these are the drama channels that, that spend half of their time bullying Trisha Paytas, and other people online. So it's quite problematic when you've got channels that are designed solely to create drama, talk about drama, and it's not in their best interest if people take a chill pill, think things through, and just relax a little bit. For them, the channels, these drama channels, they want to talk it up. They want to make it a whole lot bigger than it really is. Yes, I agree her comments are a little bit iffy. I'm sure if someone had said to her at the time, do you realise he's a kid? She'd probably be like, oh God, no, I didn't realise that. However, she hasn't apologised, and, that's her prerogative whether she wants to or not. I think a lesson for her would probably be that, yes, she should. But does it make her a pedophile? No, it doesn't. And one of the key things that you need to remember is that the term pedophile, it's to be diagnosed as a pedophile, it means that, that you're only interested in having sexual relationships with children. It's, when you have people who have sex with adults, and then who have sex with children, they're not actually technically classed as pedophiles, even though the people are underage, because they still find adult women or men attractive. So to call her a pedophile is, it's morally reprehensible to call anyone that, especially someone that, you just, on the fact that she said something about Justin Bieber when he was 16. As women, we grew up with men ogling us from the, the time that we start budding breasts and getting hips. This kind of idea that she's just such a predator because she said one comment, is, to me, it's double standards. It's just ludicrous. It really is. Anyhow, let me go through my notes, darlings. So, yeah, like I said, people jumping on the bandwagon. One of the things that I noticed was Pierre XO compared her to Weinstein, Harvey Weinstein, a renowned rapist. So he's raped multiple women. And because this Shallon woman made these comments about Justin Bieber, she's now on par with Weinstein. Firstly, I'm not 100% sure, but I think he might have got Harvey Weinstein and Jeffrey Epstein confused. That's the first thing. I think that he might have been meaning Epstein, because Epstein was the one that was into younger, underage sex trafficked children. However, to talk about Shallon Lester and to flash an image of Weinstein or Epstein is ridiculous. It's like saying chocolate is bad for you. Eating chocolate is bad for you, right? And saying that is comparable to, eating bleach. Yeah, both bad for you. One, not so bad. The other, probably kill you. You can't go flashing pictures of Weinstein or Epstein and, compare someone to that. I mean, I honestly think there's probably going to be a few lawsuits coming down. Really, I actually really do. I mean, this is slander. Yeah, it's there's just too much of a connection to draw. Like, you can't just go one comment, oh, pedophile. Yes, even though, like I said, yes, he was underage. I mean, she didn't try and have sex with him, and she didn't, didn't engage in any sexual contact with him or anything like that. It was an inappropriate comment about someone who turned out to be underage, and she could have retracted it. Maybe she did. I don't know. But the thing is, someone found this comment on Twitter because people are bored. People are sitting at home doing nothing. All right, so the comments, yeah, her comments definitely have been taken out of context. They are, I mean, granted, they were dumb comments, and she was 25 or something when she said them. And I know for a fact that, the things that we say when we're 25 are dumb. We are dumb when we're 25. We might think that we're adults. We might think that we're super smart and we know everything, but we don't. We don't. We say dumb things. In 20 years' time, we'll probably reflect back and look at where we are now and the things we're saying now and realise that they were dumb. But that's the thing. You don't get that kind of hindsight without age. So now that she's older, she probably looks back and feels uncomfortable with the things she said. I don't know. I'm not making excuses for her, and I'm certainly not saying that it's okay for everyone across all these channels to jump on this bashing Shallon Lester bandwagon over something so ridiculous. Like, it's really quite ridiculous. And like I said, and comparing her to serial rapists, I mean, my God, that's just out of control. And I hate to say it, but it's double standard. There is a definite double standard within society. We, men as predators and men as abusers, it's just so accepted that we just don't even bat an eyelid when we hear about the Weinsteins and Epsteins of the world, and we often even go, oh, no, he wouldn't do that, he's a good bloke. But when it's one woman, a woman, her crimes are always judged so much more harshly. And it's sad, but that's the reality of, living in a patriarchy. You don't realise the double standards, when you're male. You don't realise it because you're male. But I'm sure that Shallon Lester right now is probably really feeling that double standard and probably really angry at the hypocrisy, to be perfectly honest. I mean, there are so many people that these channels could have picked on. There are so many people, there are so many things going on in the world that they could have picked on, but they didn't. I mean, just let's get on, let's talk about the MGTOW, that whole men going their own way and all these awful training programs that these men have where they learn to, get the woman, except, it's all about reducing a woman's self-confidence, giving her a backhanded compliment, saying something nice and then making her feel bad about herself, smacking her on the ass when you're having sex to, bring out her daddy issues. I mean, those people that are accusing Shallon Lester, they could spend a little bit of time maybe looking at all of that, but they won't. You know why they won't? Because it's men saying it. And the next thing is they're not going to go and challenge these men because they don't. The people that are challenging Shallon Lester right now are the type of people that will always kowtow to men, right? They take it out on women like Shallon, but they won't actually take this fight to where it belongs. Those kind of really offensive, abusive breeding grounds that breed men like Weinstein and the Epsteins of the world. Let's fight that. That's a much bigger issue than someone's dumb comments and bitchy ways. Yeah, she is a bitch. There's no doubt about it. She's a gossip editor. She has earned her stripes in the tabloid celebrity gossip realm. She knows all about all of that stuff. But the thing is, it has skewed her perception of the world. Definitely. She's very judgmental. You know, she sees things, she compares people, she says inappropriate things. And that speaks more to the society that, like I said, that she is living in, that whole celebrity gossip industry, that whole, you know, LA and New York, you know, the casting couch, that speaks to all of that. That's a much bigger conversation than Shallon Lester. And when we get caught up talking about Shallon Lester, you know, we overlook all the rest. So she's not the bad guy. Sure, she's a bit silly and she said some dumb things and it's questionable. Sure, no doubt. But you know what? I can almost guarantee you, if you go through any of my videos, if you go through all of your old letters, if you go through any footage that you have of yourself, anything you've ever written and said, the comments, the things that you've put up on social media, if someone else went through that stuff, they would find that you are racist, sexist, transphobic, what else? You know, there's so many things that we can point at each other about. It's the way you interpret it, it's the context that it was put out and the environment in which it was understood that makes all the difference. The other thing is, like I said, there's this thing called confirmation bias, where we literally will seek out information that proves that we are correct. So if I want to hate someone, I'm going to find something to hate them for, right? And with these channels, what you've got is someone saying, look at what she said here. Now, this is what she meant by it. And then they've put their own narrative, their own spin on the story. Instead of saying, Shallon Lester, what did you mean when you said this? I mean, if someone had actually put it to her, you know, and given her the opportunity to explain herself, you know, maybe she would actually have said, you know, God, that was so embarrassing. I didn't even realize that was still there. I wish I'd never said it. Who knows what she would have said? Do you know what I mean? The point is that it doesn't have to be what it is now, this witch hunt. And as I said, I'm so tired of seeing it on the internet and on YouTube. Like, I love YouTube, but I can't stand seeing people attacking. So like Trisha Paytas, for example, the literally millions of people that go on her channel just to leave her nasty comments. I mean, what is wrong with those people? I mean, seriously, there's something really, really wrong where they come back each and every time to leave her nasty, cruel comments. But no one's talking about that. That's okay. Apparently that's okay. You know, because Trisha Paytas deserves it, apparently, just like Shallon Lester apparently deserves what she's getting now. And I'm not okay with that. Like, I'm really not okay with that. What I am okay with is people, like I said, the Weinsteins and the Epsteins, who've actually been caught out, gone through the court process, been proven guilty. I believe in innocent until proven guilty. It seems a lot of you don't, but I do. And when it comes to people like this, you can't just be calling them pedophile or psychopath. You can't read through the DSM-4 and go, oh, she's a psychopath because she ticks off all these boxes. You're not a psychiatrist. She's not your patient. And you can't diagnose someone, you know, via a third party or watching them over television. I mean, you know, I speak and work with women all the time about this stuff. And that is one of the first things that I will always say. You know, you just can't. The reality is that, you know, psychopathy is such a low, I think it's something like, I don't know, 1% of the population. I mean, it's, you know, it is so low, it's virtually impossible. Anyhow, let me just quickly go through this. So I don't think that Shallon Lester is a pedophile. I don't think that she's a psychopath. I do think she's someone who, like I said, is a product of her environment, of that whole gossip culture. I think she's trying to get better. I think she's very entertaining, I have to say. You know, for this video, I watched, I think, about 6 of her videos. She is slightly offensive. I had moments where I thought, you know, you want to reel that back in. But in saying that, it's not illegal to have an opinion. Okay, so let's just remember that. Hate speech is different. You know, having an opinion is one thing, hate speech is different. And the thing is that Shallon Lester's comments are a bit ambiguous at times. And the problem with that is that sometimes people will say, oh, she means this. But what if she doesn't mean that? What if you've just taken it totally out of context and she means the total opposite? That's the problem with these kind of comments. It's easy for them to be misinterpreted. She's not writing a thesis. She's not, you know, laying it all out for you. She doesn't have to explain it. She's just a woman who has a YouTube channel and who talks to you. If you don't like it, you can just switch off. That's fine. It's not going to impact upon your life that much. But this kind of, like I said, this cancel culture, this attacking, this idea of the entire internet attacking one woman and calling her the most ridiculous things. I mean, you know, it's just a step too far. It's not a world that I'm comfortable living in, to be honest, which is why I'm calling on all of you just to calm yourselves, calm your farm a little bit, darling. Just relax a bit, think about it, you know, or don't think about it. Maybe that's another thing that people could consider doing. Just getting off YouTube for a while. Turn it off. Do something else. You know, because the drama channels are always going to be there. They're always going to be there causing drama because that's how they make their money. They wouldn't have channels if there was no dramas. So they're going to look up for the times that people slip up and say silly things. And we all say silly things. And if anyone is sitting there going, well, I don't, right, I'm going to call you out for being a liar because we all do. Sure, when we're in public, we do our very best to not be offensive and not be rude. But the reality is that, you know, behind closed doors, we all say and do dumb things. Things that could be misconstrued as being, I don't know, racist, sexist, who knows what else. The reality for someone like Shallon is that she spends a lot of her time in front of the camera. So there's a recording, there's a memory, there's a history. And people can look back at her 10 years ago and say, see, this is what she was, look at her and say, this is who she is. But that's not who she is. That was her when she was 10 years ago, 25 or 29 or whatever she was. You know, that is the point that I'm making. This woman is not who she was then, and she hasn't committed a crime. And she's not a psychopath because you're not a psychiatrist and she's not your patient. So you just can't be saying that. It reflects badly on you. All right. I think that's pretty much all that I had to say about that. I just think, like I said, I just think it's, you know, it's just not okay to call people pedophiles. It's just not okay to try and end someone's career because someone made a drama, you know, some drama channel made a video about her and now it's like, oh, you know, Team D'Angelo or Team Shallon. I get a grip, people, okay? It's not a schoolyard anymore. All right, lovelies, listen, thank you for listening and, yeah, as always, get nut free and stay nut free. Thanks for watching. Bye.